Ladies and gentlemen, happiness is not something you stumble upon, it's something you create moment by moment. It starts by realizing that no one else is responsible for how you feel. Life doesn't owe you happiness, and no event, person, or possession can hand it to you. The key is to take full ownership of your emotional state. When you decide that joy is within your control, you begin to unlock the life you've been searching for. What you focus on becomes your reality. If your mind constantly fixes on what's wrong, what's missing, or what could go wrong, you will feel drained and frustrated. But when you train yourself to notice what's good, even in small moments, a shift happens. Joy begins to show up in the simple. Body needs the right fuel. Your thoughts need positive input to grow. Listen to inspiring words, read uplifting books, and be mindful of the conversations you allow yourself to participate in. Negativity is contagious, but so is joy. Protect your energy by choosing environments and people who encourage you to think bigger and live with a sense of possibility. True happiness is deeply tied to the relationships you nurture. There's something powerful about knowing that you are connected to others in a meaningful way. It's not about having hundreds of acquaintances, but about cultivating a few deep connections that feed your soul. Invest in these relationships. Be there for the people who matter, not because you expect anything in return, but because love and connection are some of life's greatest sources of joy. Gratitude is the antidote to unhappiness. It's impossible to feel lack when you're focused on what you already have. Take a moment every day to reflect on the things you appreciate, whether big or small. When you feel grateful, your heart opens and the world begins to feel more abundant. It's not about ignoring challenges, but learning to see the beauty in the midst of them. One of the fastest ways to experience joy is to give without expectation. When you offer your time, energy, or resources to others, you tap into something bigger than yourself. Contribution is one of life's greatest joys because it connects you to a purpose beyond your own needs. It reminds you that no matter where you are in life, you have something valuable to offer. In giving, you experience the joy of knowing you've made a difference. Your physical state has a direct impact on your emotional state. It's hard to feel happy when you're physically drained. Movement matters, whether it's taking a walk, exercising, or simply dancing. Motion shifts your emotions. When you care for your body, you feel more energized and happiness flows more naturally. Happiness becomes elusive when it's tied to rigid outcomes. Too often people think I'll be happy when I achieve this or get that, but this kind of thinking places joy on the other side of achievement, making it conditional. Real happiness is found in the process, not the outcome. When you let go of needing things to be a certain way, you open yourself up to joy in the here and now. Finally, happiness is found in the present moment. Worrying about the future or dwelling on the past robs you of the joy that is available right now. Life is happening in this moment. The more you learn to immerse yourself fully in the present, whether in a conversation, a task, or simply sitting quietly, the more joy becomes a natural part of your everyday experience. Happiness is not a destination, it's a way of being. It's a choice you make every day, regardless of circumstances. It's about learning to love where you are while continuing to grow into the person you are becoming. Happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to find joy within them. And when you live this way, happiness stops being something you search for and starts being who you are. Happiness is an art, a choice, and a practice. Many people search for it externally, believing that the right job, relationship, or circumstance will unlock joy. However, happiness is an internal state that can be cultivated from within, regardless of external situations. It doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect, but it's about learning to navigate life's ups and downs with the right mindset. Below is a detailed explanation of the principles necessary to build true and lasting happiness. The first step to happiness is taking full responsibility for it. Too often people believe that someone else, whether a partner, friend, or family member, should make them happy. This mindset makes happiness conditional and dependent on things outside your control. However, true happiness begins when you recognize that you alone have the power to decide how you feel. By taking ownership of your emotions, you shift from victimhood to empowerment. Life will always throw challenges your way, but when you stop blaming others or circumstances, you regain control over how you respond. You realize that happiness isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create every day through your thoughts and actions. What you focus on becomes your reality. If your mind constantly searches for what's missing or what could go wrong, you'll inevitably feel stressed, anxious, or dissatisfied. Happiness comes when you learn to direct your focus intentionally toward what's good in your life. It's not about denying problems, but it's about training yourself to see opportunities instead of obstacles. For example, when faced with a setback, you can either focus on the failure or shift your focus to what you've learned from the experience. This change in focus rewires your brain to notice more positive experiences, creating a cycle of increasing happiness. The more you practice shifting your focus, the easier it becomes to find joy even in challenging times. One of the greatest sources of happiness is the feeling of growth and forward movement. Human beings thrive when they feel they are making progress, whether it's in relationships, careers, health, or personal goals. When you feel stuck or stagnant, happiness becomes elusive. It's not necessarily about achieving huge milestones every day, but about making small, meaningful progress. Even something as simple as learning a new skill or taking one step toward a goal brings a sense of fulfillment. Progress gives life momentum, and that momentum feeds your spirit with energy and excitement. The act of growing, improving, and becoming a better version of yourself brings a deep sense of joy that goes beyond fleeting pleasure. Happiness starts in the mind. The thoughts you entertain daily shape your emotional state, so it's important to be mindful of what you allow into your mental space. Just as your body needs nourishing food, your mind needs uplifting and empowering input.
Spend time reading books, listening to podcasts, or consuming content that expands your sense of possibility. Avoid toxic conversations or media that feed negativity. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow and see life through a positive lens.
When you fill your mind with inspiring thoughts and ideas, you naturally feel more motivated and optimistic. This doesn't mean you ignore life's challenges, but it gives you the mental strength to approach difficulties with a positive attitude. Relationships are a fundamental part of happiness. Human beings are wired for connection, and having meaningful relationships adds richness and purpose to life. However, it's not the number of connections that matter, it's the depth of those relationships. A few genuine relationships where you feel seen, understood, and valued can bring profound happiness. On the other hand, shallow or toxic connections can drain your emotional energy. It's important to invest time in nurturing relationships with people who uplift you and make you feel connected to something larger than yourself. Happiness multiplies when shared with others. Whether it's family, friends, or community, meaningful relationships are among the most reliable sources of joy. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful practices for increasing happiness. When you focus on what you already have, you shift your mind away from lack and scarcity. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice more good things in your life, creating a positive feedback loop. The beauty of gratitude is that it can be practiced anywhere at any time. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for, whether it's a small moment of kindness or a major achievement. Gratitude also makes you more resilient during difficult times by reminding you that there is always something to appreciate no matter how challenging life gets. When you cultivate gratitude, happiness becomes less dependent on external circumstances. Contribution is one of the deepest sources of happiness. When you give without expecting anything in return, you tap into a sense of purpose that transcends your own needs. Acts of generosity, whether it's your time, energy, or resources, connect you to the world in meaningful ways. Giving makes you feel part of something greater than yourself, which brings a profound sense of fulfillment. You don't need to give large amounts, even small acts of kindness can create a ripple effect of joy. When you contribute to the well-being of others, you realize that happiness isn't about taking or accumulating, it's about sharing and making a difference. Happiness is not just a mental state, it's also deeply connected to your physical state. When you neglect your body, it's harder to feel emotionally well. Movement is one of the quickest ways to change your emotional state. Exercise releases endorphins, your body's natural feel-good chemicals, and boosts your energy levels. Whether it's going for a walk, practicing yoga, or dancing, movement shifts your emotions and makes happiness more accessible. In addition to exercise, getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, and staying hydrated are essential for maintaining a healthy body and mind. When you take care of your physical well-being, happiness becomes easier to sustain. One of the biggest obstacles to happiness is the tendency to tie joy to specific outcomes. Many people think I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or I'll be happy when I find the perfect relationship. This kind of thinking places happiness in the future, making it conditional on things that may or may not happen. Real happiness comes when you learn to enjoy the process instead of obsessing over the outcome. Detaching from results doesn't mean giving up on your goals, it means finding joy in the journey itself. When you release the need for things to be a certain way, you open yourself to unexpected sources of happiness in the present moment. Happiness exists only in the present moment. The past is gone and the future is uncertain, but the present is always available to you. Yet many people miss out on happiness because they are stuck in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. Learning to be present means immersing yourself fully in whatever you are doing right now, whether it's a conversation, a task, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. When you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of life's small joys, the sound of laughter, the taste of food, or the warmth of the sun on your skin. Presence brings peace, and in that peace, happiness naturally arises. Happiness is not about perfection or the absence of problems. It's about learning to find joy in the midst of life's challenges. It's a choice you make every day by shifting your focus, nurturing relationships, practicing gratitude, giving to others, and staying connected to the present. Happiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you cultivate through intentional action. When you take ownership of your emotions and embrace life with curiosity and openness, happiness stops being a distant goal and becomes a way of being.